welcome to yet another dimension, and welcome to my top 10 games of 2020. Now, 2020 is not, the year wasn't what we thought it was going to be. A lot of crazy stuff happened, but we still had a lot of great games come out, and I think it was a decent year for gaming. But I'm going to show you all my favorite games that come out, and then what I played and what I attempted to play. First, I want to talk about the honorable mentions and the games I couldn't finish. First, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is not my copy. This is Justin's. And sadly, I haven't beaten the original Final Fantasy VII. And I really want to beat that before I get into this. But I wanted to see what the hype was all about, because people were saying, oh, this is better than the original. Some people are saying, oh, this is like blasphemy to have this, and like there are changes in it. But I played like 10 or so hours of the original, and I played like an hour or two on this, and I'm really enjoying it. The graphics are great. I think the best part about it is like the more developed characters, like Jesse and Briggs, and I forgot the other guy that was with you. They're more developed in this, and it's cool. Like in the town, the section 7 of the wards, it's great, and I can't wait to play the original and beat that, and I'm enjoying it, and I can't wait to get to this one of 4 probably in the series of Final Fantasy VII. Ugh, ridiculous, but I really want to play this and get into it. Other games that I couldn't beat, Sackboy. I actually won that in the Burger King contest. They had like a Burger King contest for a PS5. I won that. It was a decent platformer. I didn't get too much into it. Bugsnax, you got that for the PlayStation Plus. You originally got the PS5. I only played a little bit of it. It's like Pokemon Snap, and like really weird. A lot of dark stuff is happening in that game, but it seems like it's for kids at the same time. It's very interesting. Genshin Impact. I wanted to try that, but I couldn't get to it. What else? What else came out this year? Oh, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Definitely want to try that. And man, I wish I could get into that, but there's so many games to play. And so that's like some of the games I wanted to play, and like one honorable mention. And let's get into the top 10. Let's waste no more time. Now, I don't have, a box physical edition of this game because it's download only, and it's Fall Guys. I have it on the PS4. Fall Guys, I think it was around August, September. It was a phenomenon for a second, and it came out PlayStation Plus free game. And like it's Mario Party meets like a like Wipeout. You ever seen one of those shows where obstacle course? What's that? MXC, that crazy show where like it's an obstacle course and it's a Mario Party game and one mini game. And I love Mario Party. I love mini games, and I love going through obstacle courses. And this is just like a great marriage between those two concepts. And they call it Fall Guys for a reason. You play like these little fat guys. You can like customize them, and they're so easy. They can easily fall. Like the controls in it is like very finicky, and it's on purpose, so you don't have complete control of them. Like you're waddling around like a penguin. It's hilarious. It has like pretty good music. Actually, the theme kind of reminded me of the Powerpuff Girls theme. It's just like it's funny, and like you start off with like so many people, and then like it slowly narrows it down to like the last like 5 or 10. And I almost won twice, and I was like the last person, but I fell, and I was so close. But it was so much fun for the moment that it was like hot, and it was good for like a week or so. But it was a game that you can get into, like anybody can play. It's a casual game, lots of fun, lots of great multiplayer fun. And I think you should definitely try Fall Guys if you like. It's only like $20. and that definitely is worth it. Get some friends, and I'll play it. Fall Guys, number 10. Fall Guys. Now, I gotta have a physical for number 9. And I didn't beat this game yet, but I will soon, because it's super hard, harder than I thought it would be. And it's something from the past, a very cherished past game of mine, and that's Crash 4. It's about time. Now, as a kid, I used to play Crash Bandicoot all the time. I had 1, 2, and 3. 3 was the first game that I remember ever beating, and I love that game so much. I got it for Christmas. And then Crash Bandicoot went down a dark hole of mediocre to bad games. I mean, you had the Wrath of Cortex, which was just mediocre at best, and a whole bunch of other games that they just completely forget because they named this Crash 4 when it was like at least 6 or 7 games before this, in between Crash 3 and Crash 4. But I didn't really play those, and I heard they were mediocre at best. But this game is not mediocre. It's great. It's made by Toys for Bob, and it's great. It's a great, just traditional platformer, like the style of the Crash Bandicoot series that I love. Like jumping on boxes, like very tough platforming. They got the bonus level stills, and the story is more tongue-in-cheek, a lot of meta. Like they talk about like, oh, how many times have you beat Cortex? 3 times. It's like, it seems like it was more than that. That was funny. And you actually in this like makes it different. You play with so many different characters. You play as a boss in the 3rd one. I forgot, it's like Crocodile guy. And you play with this like other female kind of Indiana Jones like girl. And you play as Cortex too. Spoilers, I guess. And it's the story's funny, good writing. There's so many collectibles in this, and like you be playing this for hours. I heard that like the 100% this is like a pain, but I think you should just play it casually. If you like platformers, definitely get this. It's one of the best platformers I played in a long time, and I'm close to beating it, but it's difficult. If you want, I'm pretty sure this is the hardest Crash Bandicoot game to date. But if you like platforming, you like difficult platforming, this is great. You should definitely get this. Number 9, Crash 4. It's about time. Surprise hit. Oh, my other games fell. Then we get number 8. A controversial game, kind of a disappointment, and it comes from my favorite franchise, Resident Evil 3 Remake. Now, I was super hyped for Resident Evil 2 Remake that came out 2019, and it was great. It was everything I could have asked for, close to perfect. And then they announced Resident Evil 3 Remake a year later. It comes out a year later, almost today, and I was like, oh, that seems a little rushed, but I'm excited. Like Jill, Carlos looks good. Nemesis looks like a beast in this. And then they announced Project Resistance, I think. It's like a multiplayer co-op. You go against like monsters. I'm like, I wish I had Mercenaries, and Mercenaries is not in this for some reason. So I don't understand why they didn't have that. But you get into the game, and it's a lot different from the original. Now, original one, I'm not that big a fan of, but I do enjoy it a lot. I liked 2 way more, so I was okay with changes. But there's a lot of cut content in this game that I didn't like. They cut off the whole entire clock tower boss fight in the level and some other parts, and they condensed it a little more than I wanted to. And they got rid of some boss fights, but it's okay. But what I'm just like crapping on this game. But I'm gonna tell you what the good parts in a second. But one thing they really messed up with this is Nemesis. Now, Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 was much better than Nemesis. I'm like, what? Nemesis was a beast in the original one. He was terrifying, but in this one he is terrifying. But it's mostly scripted scenes, and I don't know why they did that. Like in Mr. X and Resident Evil 2, it was not scripted at all, and that was some of the best moments, like horror movie moments I ever played. But in this one, it's more scripted. I think there's like 2 parts where it's not scripted mostly. He's just chasing you. Those are the best moments with Nemesis. But his boss fights are really good, and it's a lot of fun. More action packed this one, and the original one was more action packed. And but some more positives. Like, this game looks great. Some of the best like animation and like graphics I've seen in a while. And also the characters, Jill and Carlos. Like, I think they're done way better in this game. Carlos, like, he was just like a dweeb in the original one, but in this one he's cool. Like, he's actually likable, and I like their chemistry. And like the other characters are good too. But also the dodge mechanic in the original one was kind of broken. In this one, it's so satisfying to pull off a dodge and shoot the zombies. And the gunplay is like good as normal. And you play with Carlos more in this one, and I don't mind that. But I just wish they didn't cut as much content. And I actually platinumed this game because this happened. It came out around like COVID, like, was really like popping off, and like everybody was shutting down, and I was like not working, and I platinumed it, and I had a great time doing it. So that's Resident Evil 3 remake. Disappointment to a lot. I guess it's a great game, but it's not a great Resident Evil, and not a great Resident Evil remake. Hopefully they do a better job with Resident Evil 4, but I think you should definitely play this if you're a Resident Evil fan, and if you're just a fan of horror and fun gameplay. So get it. And it's short. You can beat it in like 6 or 7 hours, and it's cheaper, so get it definitely. So number 8, Resident Evil 3 remake. Next, okay, so confession. This should really be the game of the year because it was the game of the year in 2009. And what am I talking about? My first PS5 game I'm going to show today. We have Demon's Souls, the remake on the PS5, exclusive to the PS5. Now, this started off the Soul series. Soul series is one of my favorite franchises of all time. And it's made by Bluepoint. Come on. They made they have made Metal Gear Solid HD collection, great collection, a remaster. They made the Shadow of the Colossus remake for the PS4, great. Now, and of course there was rumors about this, and it was real, and it came out a launch game for the PS5. Of course I had to get it, and it's freaking gorgeous, and it's made so well. It's very close to the original, and there's like improvements. One of my biggest gripes with the original Demon's Souls is that they had a equipment burden. So you collect over a whole bunch of items, you eventually start to slow down, similar to Fallout. But instead of having to go to the Nexus, you could just simply send it to the guy that you give your items to, which makes the game like future. I mean, it like more quality of life improvements to the game. And confession, I didn't beat this game, but it's really just a remake of it. It looks better, it runs at 60 frames per second, and it loads so fast. The load times in this is beautiful. It makes it worth getting it just for that, just to see that. And I mean, it's one of the best games of all time, one of the best series. And if you like difficult RPGs, fantasy RPGs, definitely get this, Demon's Souls. It's a treat, man. Just one of the best games of all time. I can't make it my number one because it's a remake and it's not fair. I mean, it'd be too easy, but definitely one of the best games. Buy it if you have PS5. Demon's Souls, number 7. Now, I don't have a physical edition of this game either, because it's not a demo, and it came out on the PS5 for free. Yes, I'm talking about Astro's Playroom, a tech demo for the DualSense. Now, I was like, oh yeah, I heard a lot of good things about Astro's Playroom. I didn't play his previous PS VR game because I don't have a VR headset, sadly, and I've been wanting to get into it, but man, I was smiling the whole time playing this game because it's straight up just, if you're a Sony fanboy like you see back here. This game is just for you, and you'll have a smile on your face the whole entire time you're playing, because there's so much love and care in this game to Sony, like the history, and I care about the history of video games so much, and like it's just like so many references. Like they have references of it, like just him walking around with like a guy like one of the Astrobot cameras, and like you gotta guess like what the reference is, because like they're playing out scenes in different games. It's like awesome. To The Last of Us, Gravity Rush, Jumpin' Flash, like crazy. And Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, of course, like all the games that was iconic to the PlayStation brand. And like they recognize the Team Asobi, like they recognize that the history, like similar to Nintendo, Sony has a history, PlayStation has a history, and they're finally like showing it off, and I love it so much. And also, it shows off what this bad boy can do. Such an improvement to the DualShock 4. This is a beefy boy. It feels like it's worth $70 that they asked for it. They have the adaptive triggers where there's resistance on it. It feels great. The haptic feedback with it's like so great, and it really improves the experience. And like there's sections where they like utilize it so well, and I'm just hoping that it's just not like just one time thing with the tech demo. I really hope that developers really try and get the most out of this controller, because that's what happens with the last time with the pad, and then sadly the what's it called, the 6-axis with the PS3. Like they used it for like the first year or so, and then they just got rid of it. Not as important. But also the music in it is like some of the best. It's like so groovy and catchy into it. So fun, and it's just like I had a smile on my face the whole time. I couldn't resist it because I had such a great time. It's only like 4 more hours at the most. So if you have PS5, definitely get that. I mean, definitely get it. It's free. Definitely play it and try to platinum it too. I'm gonna try to platinum it. I need to, but I love it so much. Astro's Playroom, PS5. Number 6. So, another PS5 game, also PS4 game, probably the biggest exclusive that came out for the PS5 this year. We have Spider-Man Miles Morales. Okay, so if you want my in-depth review of this, I have it with Andrew on the channel. Go check it out. I mean, this game is beautiful, and I played the original Spider-Man right before I played Miles Morales, and it was an improvement in some ways. Mostly was cutting the fat, because the Spider-Man original had a lot of like unnecessary puzzles. The scenes with Mary Jane I didn't really like. Andrew liked it, but I didn't really like it. But in this, like, you play as Miles, and it's straight up just combat, stealth. I think the stealth is improved in this, and his powers, the Venom powers, are really great. Lots of fun to play. The story, it's not that long, and I enjoyed it. It's like most 10 hours long, and I enjoyed it a lot. Towards the end, like I think the boss fights are way better than this one. I'm not gonna spoil it, but like the last 2 boss fights were great, and it's just more Spider-Man, and I'm hoping like in the next game you can actually play co-op with Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Miles Morales. That would be awesome. But this is a great game, a must-have if you have a PS5 or a PS4. But definitely buy this game. Lots of fun, good story, good characters, just fast-paced action, and it's at 60 frames per second, and they have the ray tracing option now with it. So the game, it looks so beautiful. It's a showcase for what the PS5 can do, also with Demon Souls as well. Get it, love it. And the load times, what load times? Nothing. So Miles Morales, number 5, I think. Yeah, number 5. So that was the start of my top 5. Number 4, it was the most controversial game of this year until Cyberpunk came out and just decided to take that mantle, and people just completely forgot how controversial this game was. we have The Last of Us Part 2, my most anticipated game this year. And wow, if you want to hear my full thoughts, me and Andrew has a great review on it. Probably one of the best reviews we've done. And we just go through everything. The most positives is like the combat and the look. The combat, my favorite combat is stealth, action, survival, and this has it in spades. Like, it feels so visceral. Like, you feel it every time you like kill somebody. Like, you feel it, and like I don't feel that in any other game as much as this. Like, it feels so realistic, grounded, gritty, and like you really feel like you're in control of Ellie. And also, spoilers, I guess, Abby. So, and also the look of the game, the graphics are out of this world. The motion capture is the best I've ever seen. It looks like you're just watching an animated movie or just real people doing stuff. It's insane, and it really pulls you into the game. I almost called it the movie, the game. See, it like almost seems like a movie. But like the gameplay, I was like towards the end, I was like having a ball. Like, and I guess it's not that much of a change. Like, there's not much more added mechanics, but I think they improved on it and made it better from the original one. Now let's talk about the bad. Now, if I wish the story and the characters could match up with the gameplay and the look, because I just like the new characters they introduced. I just did not like as much. Dina, she was all right, but she seems like she didn't have much purpose to be in the story other than like make Ellie feel bad. Also, like most of Abby's friends, like Owen, and I forgot the pregnant lady. I forgot her name, but like they're just so forgettable. They were forgettable. So compared to the original one, like Tess and what's that one guy, the crazy guy from the original one? I think his name's Bob. Not Bob. Bill. Like, and then like this other ones, like so many great characters. They couldn't really compare it to this one, and it was a slog to get through because there was countless like flashbacks, and the game. I think the biggest thing about this game, it was just too long. If it was like had better pacing, I think this game would be so much better. But I have to give this game credit. It was bold. Like what they did, it was bold. I don't think it was the right choice on how they did it, and people hate this game. Absolutely hate this game. You think people hate Cyberpunk? They hate this game for what they like. I was okay with what they did. It's just how it's done that I don't disagree with. I mean, I don't agree with it. So, but I think this game is great as a gameplay, like just straight up gameplay. So much fun. Like the fighting human enemies is like really strategic. I mean, you got like the infected was great. Like some of the boss fights was great. Like cutscene, like the scripted scenes, especially with Abby, was great. You fighting that one sniper, I'm not gonna say, was great. And that one boss in the hospital, like you played it, like so many like different set pieces and moments in this is great. But then you have like so many moments that are not so great. And this game was supposed to be the best game ever. Like I had so much high expectations for the game, and I remember saying before this game came out, I was like, "Oh, this might be the best game of all time." Before, because I had so much hype for it, but it disappointed at the end. Sadly, it left a sour taste in my mouth. But still, one of the best gameplay experiences of this year. So, Last of Us Part 2, and I think this will be redeemed with a third game. Like, please, I hope they come out with a third game, Part 3, and I think this game could be redeemed somehow in like terms of story and like the ending. So that's number 4, Resident Evil. I wish. The Last of Us Part 3. Part 3. The Last of Us Part 2. Too many names to remember. Okay. So top 3. What will it be? Another Sony game. Came out right after The Last of Us. It was a huge hit. Surprise. People were saying like, oh, it might not be that good. but it was really good. We have Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch, you know, makers of Infamous and also Sly Cooper back in the day. They finally made it. They finally made a samurai game that I've always wanted. When I first premiered, I was like, yes, yes, finally, because I love samurai and ninja stuff, and like the mood of it, it was great. It captivated me, and I can't wait for it. And in like this, okay, the story you play as Jin, like it's the story of the Mongolians taking over the island of Tsushima, and you play him. He's like honorable samurai. His uncle taught him. His dad died early on in his life, so like it's him trying to become like the best samurai, but eventually like all the samurai are like wiped out in one foul swoop by this the Khan, like one of the Khans, and finally like but he's brought back to life by a thief, and like the thief like shows him how to become like a more like a ninja, like a more stealth assassin, but that's a no in the samurai code, and like he starts to change, you know, he turns into the ghost of Tsushima. And I really like that because I had a struggle between like I like in the game you do like standoffs, like that's more samurai, like you face them straight on, you don't attack them from the back, that's more of the assassin ninja type. And like I struggled between like, oh, maybe I should do that, maybe I should do that. It was like an internal struggle, like it wasn't the game, like you wasn't really penalized for it doing whatever you wanted to do. But eventually he started to change, and I really like that. The story is pretty decent. The characters are okay. It's not really about like the characters. Like it's more like the plot and like just going around saving villages. It's more. I guess people compared it to Assassin's Creed. Like it's like a lot of checklists. Like, oh, you go there, save that village, go over there, get that armor, have that fight, and then you have the main story. The main story is a lot of fun to play. The gameplay, like it's good. But it's not as good as I thought it would be. It's satisfying, but it's not as complex or like has a lot of depth to it. Like eventually, you do everything you can do. I mean, you have like your stuff, like your bombs, your arrows. Of course, your swords, and it feels good, like cutting people down like a samurai. It feels like a samurai game, and they really nailed that. One of the best things they did was the navigation with the wind. Like you don't have to go into the menus because a lot of like in open world games you have to go into the menus. It slows down the pace and like takes you out the moment. But like this, like you just hit the touchpad and the wind blows and it guides you. And it's very I would have to describe like very serene and relaxing and like beautiful looking. The game, like there's not the like it's like the nature, it's always moving, the plants, like grass, like it's just always moving, it's nothing still, and it's very picturesque, you know what I'm trying to say. And I took so many screenshots and went into photo mode. I think this is the game I went into photo mode the most. So yeah, but one of the worst things about this game is the AI. I think the AI is really dumb in this. I can be standing right in front of the some of the enemies, and like I'm a kind of tall grass, and like they don't see me. Like some areas are sectioned off. Like one area has a hostage, and the other like just a couple feet down. Like there's another area with a hostage. I mean, like they could be shooting, like yelling, and like the other side doesn't hear it. Like they're pretty dumb in this, and like compared to playing like The Last of Us, it's like nothing compared to that in terms of AI. So like that was a downer. But the presentation is great, and you feel like a samurai, you feel like a ninja, and it's great. Also, one more thing like added that like really put it over the top for me, was the multiplayer mode, like a free multiplayer mode, Ghost of Tsushima like Legends, and it's instead of like the realistic tone of the main campaign, like this one, it's like the demons or like oni, and like there's like crazy imagery, like there's hearts in the air. It's like a film of like actual ghosts in this, and like it tells of the ghosts, and like you play as like either assassin, ronin, samurai, and hunter, I think. And me and Justin, we were playing that, and we had lots of fun playing it. They have survival modes. They have their own little story, and I haven't gotten to the raid yet. They have like a raid that you have to level up and get to, kind of similar to Destiny. And this is all free, and it feels like a completely different game at times. But so like that really put it over the top for me, and I had to put over Last of Us because this is a more complete package. They didn't really mess up too much in one area. And I think they can make it a lot better in the sequel or whatever they do next. But good job, Sucker Punch. This is number 3 of 2020. Ghost of Tsushima. Woo! Top 2. No, number 2. This is the last game I beat, and I'm glad I got it. I beat the original one right before it too, and that was great. But I think this is better. We have Doom Eternal. Yes, Doom. Now this is the ultimate power trip because oh man, I played Doom 2016 right before this, and I thought that game was great. Like your heart is just pumping, like just a metal, like every like heavy metal soundtrack cover, like you're playing out, like you're on Mars, and then you go into hell, like fighting demons, like just classic Doom at its finest. I started playing Doom, like the first Doom I played was Doom 3, and people were like, it's more like survival game, like horror game, slow paced. People didn't really like it. I really enjoyed it, but this is like more return to form with Doom 2016. And then now Doom Eternal, people are like more not, well, some people think it was just too much in the terms of like strategy in this one, because in Doom 2016 you mostly just use whatever guns you want. It's less strategic and more like you just blasting, ripping and tearing through enemies. And but in this one, you gotta plan it out. It's like Doom chess. Like one weapon only works with one enemy and another enemy, or I mean like you can only use this weapon with this enemy, and like some enemies are blocking you, and there's like so many different types of demons in this one. And I really enjoyed it because I eventually got bored of Doom 2016 because it was very easy at points, and like it was just got too much of the same. But in this one, I think it's a lot more difficult, and man, I died so many times in this. And one of my favorite enemies was the Marauder. You can't shoot him straight up. You gotta wait until like he opens himself up because he has a shield that's like impenetrable, and he like throws a dog at you. Like it's insane. And then now one thing about Doom 2016 I think is a little bit better is the boss fights. I think like the boss fights are good in this, but the second last one, it was a pain to play because it just didn't feel like a Doom style gameplay. It didn't work out for me, and like the movement was so restricted, and I didn't like that, and it was very frustrating. So like that puts it down a little bit. But other than that, this game is great. The soundtrack is fantastic, heavy metal soundtrack. Oh man, it's just great. Some of the best songs of 2020 that I heard. And it has a battle mode, like an online mode, that I didn't even try. But I do want to get back into this too. And also, what's much better about this one is the background art. And there's past battles, like the hell has been taken over. I mean, Earth has been taken over by hell, and and you go to so many different areas, across the world, like galaxies and dimensions. It's great. Like in the original one, you only go to Mars and hell, and it wasn't as good. But you see battles of titans and large demons, and it's awesome, huge machinery. and like it's like the hell has been taken over. I mean, Earth has been taken over by hell, and like the areas is like filled with like organisms and like crazy nasty like hell spawn. It's great. You should look it up. A lot better than the original one, and I loved it. But I can't wait to play the DLC. They have DLC for it. Part 1's out, and Part 2's coming out. And I'm excited to play. Definitely play Doom Eternal. One of the best of 2020. Straight up adrenaline rush, pure gameplay fun. They try to tell it more of a story, but I didn't really pay attention to it. Who cares? This is Doom. Who cares? It's all about the gameplay, ripping and tearing. Doom Slayer is the man. So, a little bit of spoilers. He shoots a hole in the Mars. Like, yeah, he does that, and he rips the gun out of the thing. That's how badass this Doom Slayer is. you start to feel bad for the zombies. Not the zombies, but the demons. So that was number 2. Now, number 1, it's not a PS4 game, not a PS5 game. This year, I got the Switch. Yeah, and it's a Switch game. And it's an indie game. Not a big budget title, but it's one of the best indie developers. I can't really call them indie because there are so many great hits, so many classics, but this is the best game yet. And I don't have a physical copy of it. And let me show you, if I can. Yes, it's Hades on Nintendo Switch. Made by Supergiant Games. And this is my Game of the Year 2020. Man, it's just such a surprising game because this is a roguelike RPG. Now, if you don't know what roguelite is, it's you go through a procedurally generated levels, so like levels that are different every time. It's like random, and you only get one shot at it, and you have to go through like many levels to get to the very end. And if you don't, you start at the beginning, and you lose a lot of your progress. Now, for me, I'm like, oh, I like to make progress. Like, I don't want to feel like doing the same thing over and over again. But this game, it does it right, and it's like one of the best games to do that. And it really is a game changer because I want more of this type of style. Because the way they do it is, okay, so Zagreus, that's the main character. He's trying to get out of Hades. I mean, not Hades. Hades is his father. He's a god. This is a Greek mythology, so I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that. This is Greek mythology, and this is Zagreus, the son of the god of the dead, Hades. So, he's, like, it's not, like, a very serious, like, it's very, like, lighthearted. It's more like just family drama, really. Like, you think of, like, God of War, it's more serious, like, catastrophic things happen. But they're just living their everyday life, and Zagreus, he decides he's done with this, he wants to leave, get out of here, because he's looking for something. But Hades, his dad, he's like, oh, whatever, son, you can't get out of here, it's impossible. And like all the characters are trying to help him get out. Like the Greek gods, like Zeus and Hermes and all them, they're trying to help him. Like, they give him boons to get out. And like they're all like, the characters, the writing is so great. It's like more lighthearted, funny, and very charismatic characters. And you really get to like grow to love them all. Like, just like one big happy family, like not happy family, like dysfunctional family. More like, it's more relatable than, like, gods can be relatable to humans. And they may do it so great. So you go through the game, like, countless times. You're trying to reach the goal is to reach the top and get out of Hades, get out of the hell, I guess. And he's trying to get out. Like, there's 3 sections you got to get out, and like, it's tough, so tough. This game is super hard, but you get better every time. You keep some of your experience points, and also what really keeps you going is like all the characters encouraging you. Like, some of them like trying to like, oh, whatever, you're never gonna get out. And there's always like a new thing people say. It's never the same. There's so many different dialogue sections. It's funny, it's witty. Like Zagreus, it's probably my favorite character this year. He's like smart ass. He's sarcastic, very charming, and like he's just he's just out here a cool guy. But he's trying to get out. He's also like a good guy. He's caring about others, and also like it's funny. The three fates, the sister fates, they stop you in the first like end section, and like it's like a little rivalry, like fun rivalry between one of the fates, Megara, and like at the end, like she always trying to stop him. And like, oh, it's you again. Oh, okay. Like, can you just let me through? Like, he's trying to charm her out of the way. But like that's her job, like to stop him. And like, and then once he dies, he goes back and like he's back in the pub area, or whatever, lounge area, and like they're just like shooting the shit. It's like, oh, like, hey, I'll get you next time. Like, it's just like, wow, it's just so entertaining and it's fun. And also, what also is fun, the gameplay is super fun. It's isometric, so like kind of over the top. And I mean, a lot of Supergiant games are like that. My favorite one other than this was Transistor. I love that back in 2014. But this one is more direct. The story is more easy to understand. But in the game, you get to choose like I think 6 or 7 different weapons. You have a shield, bow and arrow, like swords, like the traditional Greek weapons. But I picked the shield. The shield was the best for me. I never picked shields in games, but I have a newfound appreciation for shields because that boy was nice, and it got me through it finally. Like after, I think it was like almost 100 deaths and so many tries, I finally got to the top. And I'm not gonna spoil the end, but the ending was great. Like the final fight was great. My favorite boss fight of this year, one of my favorites, was against what's his name, Theseus, like champion of Elysium, and also the bull. I forgot his name, the Minotaur. Like that. Oh, like he talked so much crap. Like he was so like narcissistic, like all by himself. And like every time I beat him, I'm like, yeah, man, forget you, man. I enjoyed it so much doing it every single time, and like it was just so like some of the fights, like there's so much going on in it, and it runs really well on the Switch. And also the art, man, I can say so much. The art in it is beautiful as usual. If you've seen Super Giants games, the art is very detailed. It's better than most like graphically impressive games. It's all about art style over graphics to me, and like some of the best art I've ever seen in a game. And it's very like welcoming. Like it's like cozy, like you get to decorate your home, and like the characters, like they come your like your real friends, and like you feel like your family, and you're just going through day to day life, and just in this you're just trying to get out of hell. So my two favorite games of this year takes place in hell. That's very 2020. Um, yeah, Hades. Also, the soundtrack is great too. Like a rock, what's his name? I forgot his name. Darren Korb. Like he does all the soundtrack for just Super Giant games. Listen to the soundtrack. Great game. The only thing I can say negative, not even negative. I just wanted like they have like a animated cutscene for like the trailer. That'd be cool to see the animated cutscenes in this like a lot more. And actually, it might be that because I haven't actually 100% this game, and I haven't got the true ending, and I still want to play it so much. So I'm gonna get back to it. I've been playing other games, but this is definitely a game changer for me in terms of roguelike games. I hope people copy this formula because this is the best roguelike game I've ever played, and I look forward to the future. So number 1 of 2020, Hades. Nintendo Switch is also on the PC. Not on PS4 yet, or PS5. So, that was my favorite games of 2020. So, I look forward to 2021. A lot of great games will come out. I might do it, most anticipated. But, I'll see you guys in the next dimension. See ya.